Hello, and welcome to another edition of Camille's Corner. I'm Bridget, your host. Hi, and I'm coming to you today to talk about friendship. I did a little bit of research on friendship, but of course, the meat of it, we'll talk about it after we get the stats out of the way. But according to a survey conducted among adults in the United States in May 2021, 59% of respondents said that they had a person they considered their best friend. And according to their same survey, the average person in America has between 3 and 5 close friends. 49% report having 3 or fewer close friends. 36 report having between 4 and 9 close friends. And an article by Vanessa Van Edwards says that there are 7 science backed reasons why friends are important. And the 7 are: quality friends make you physically healthier, friendships make you happier, friendships make you live longer, sociability makes you less likely to get sick, friendships are linked to financial success, friendship improves your mental health, friendships make you feel safe. Now, all those things are true. They are, I feel, and they're science backed. So I'm going to go along with that as well. Um, because friendship is so very, very important. Um, and I've been through so many types of friends. And I also had to get a relationship with the Lord in order to help me with discernment and for vibes and energy, um, because I had to learn the hard way about friendships. And, everybody else does too, I guess. But I don't know. And when I was younger, of course, this was a challenge. But as you get older and you learn better and you do better, and you're able to discern whether or not this is a good friendship or not. Um, but it wasn't probably a couple years ago is when I started the whole reading energy um, and the vibes that I'm getting from a person. And a lot of times you can read wrong, and I have done it a couple times. But for the most part, it's real. We're going to put that along with intuition that women have, and go from there. Like, okay, so when I was younger, I had some really good friends, and they were like my protector, kind of, sort of. She was the one that I remember, the first friend I remember having. And she was fearless. She was she was awesome. And anybody that tried to pick on me or do something crazy, she would always be there to help me. She would defend me. And I'll never forget this time when they gave us snacks, and it was like a lollipop, I think. And somebody ran past me and knocked the lollipop out of my hand into the dirt. And she came over there and punched that dude and picked up my lollipop to give it to me so I could eat it. Of course, I looked at it, and I appreciate her for coming to my rescue. But those are one of the fond memories I have of her. She was awesome. And of course, then we went into middle school, and she joined the band. And guess what? I wanted to join the band. And so when she got out, guess what? I wanted to get out too. So we were tight like that. And then after middle school, the lines got blurred. And I don't really remember much after that. I then had other friends as well. And some of those friends were my cousins. Actually, I would say they were my cousins. And a couple of just friends, only. Um, because, growing up, you know, in the country, we had cousins that lived away from us. And so every summer we look forward to them to coming to Georgia, and we would just have fun. And then there were times when we went down south and stayed with them a little while. But so then we have these cousins that were friends, and then we have friends that I made along the way after I became an adult. But what did I do? I shared some information with one of my friends that's a distant cousin, and she pillow talked it to somebody else. Actually, the guy that I had introduced her to. So he and I were friends before he started dating her. So once she gave the information to him, he and then in turn came to me and kind of sort of like maybe got onto me a little bit. And that wasn't the issue for me, but the issue was that he even knew about it because that wasn't any of his business. Because I would have told him if I wanted him to know. And so that caused a rift between our friendship. And it taught me that I can't tell everything. I can't say everything I want to say. Um, and I had to learn it the hard way. And then other friends that came, like in high school, and I met new people and I developed friendships with them as well. And but I had a boyfriend at the time, and most of my time was spent with him, and not necessarily nurturing the friendship I had, with everybody else. But I had another cousin to move from Florida to Florida and actually came to our school system. And she became not only my cousin, but my friend as well. And we go way back. We have, oh my goodness, way, way, way back. And we we were close. We were like super close. And then life happens, of course, and you know, we're still friends. We're still cousins, but we're still friends. And then the friend that I had from elementary school, she, along with another friend that I met after going into the workforce, they both were needy. Like they needed me on the phone with them all the time. They needed me to um, talk. And if I wasn't ready to talk or didn't want to talk, they thought something was wrong. They had thought they did something to me. They just get an attitude about it. And I'm just like, why are you upset that I wasn't able to talk to you today? Like, I mean, sometimes I would get on the phone with them and they were having a whole conversation with somebody else. And then they want to talk to me. And I'm like, that's one of my pet peeves. Like, if I call you, no, excuse me, if you call me, that means you want to talk to me, right? So when I answer the phone, I expect you to wait to hear me say hello, not have a whole entire conversation, with somebody. And I'm just sitting there waiting until you get done. And then I say, after you say hello, and then I say hello. Because I'm like, I'm not going to say anything until you say something to me. And so, but anyway, and then when I would talk to them, they'd be like, well, what's wrong? Or what's going on? And why? This and that. And I was just like, I can't do this. Like, I mean, I have something I have to do, and I can't talk to you every day, all day, every day. I can't do that. And I had to learn to let it go. I had to be okay with them being upset with me in order for me to be the best that I can be. I had to let that go. I can't deal with needy friends. There are people that are good with needy friends, and I don't have a problem in the world with that. That's you. But for me, neediness, unless we're in an intimate relationship, I don't know if I'm able to address that or be able to um, be there for a needy friend. Um, and then later on, I met some friends that later on they understood. They knew that life be lifing, and they had things they had to do. So when we caught up with each other, it was just like we didn't miss a beat. It was like, girl, this is this. Really? Well, this is this and the other. And so we were able to catch up with each other. And so it was like, okay, I can live with this. This is good. But the bad thing about that though is that the days can turn into weeks and the weeks can turn into months and the months turn into years, and we hadn't talked to each other. And that's not good. But when we do see where we're falling off, a lot of times we'll try to go ahead and, get back in touch. And those are friendships that I love the most. They are the best for me because, I can't talk to you every day. I'm barely, ready to be able to talk at work and be around people that I have to be around every day. It takes everything out of me sometimes. And so to talk with someone else, every day and then have to hear their issues along with my own every day, I couldn't do it. So then the cousin that I told you that moved from Florida, she and I got to where we were texting all the time. So we used to text daily. That was just our thing. And I'm okay with that because I can text you a book and I'd rather do that than to get on the phone and talk forever, right? Now, every now and then she'll realize that, something might be going on. Let me call her. I just had to hear your voice. I just want to make sure you're good. And we would do that back and forth as well. Those kind of friends that kind of friendship is very, very, very important to me because I feel like if you're a friend, you should be able to notice in how I may text or how if something's going on in my life, you'll know if it's important enough to warrant a call or a text or, whatever. And a lot of times if I get that way, I'll just call her anyways. And so that was our thing. And so I guess after so many instances where I had to learn on my own and then further develop a relationship with the Lord, then it was like, okay, I had friends that when I lived in another place, they were my friends. But then when I moved, then they no longer wanted to be friends with me. And I had to get over that as well. Because at first it was kind of hurt my feelings because I was like, I'm getting invited less and less. And then I'm like, dang, I'm like, what happened? Well, we know you live far away and we didn't want you to have to spend that much gas and all that kind of stuff. I was like, well, are you in my pockets? Like, give me the option to say I can't come or I won't come. Don't just not invite me. So I did that for a little while until I realized that maybe they were just seasonal friends. And we have some of those, and that's fine. That's okay. Um, and then I have another cousin of mine that I met in my adult life, and she and I became like sisters as well. And we could talk about anything. And there's only a few people in my life that was like that. And I have another friend that I met later on in life too, and she and I are close. So, golly, if I had to name a number or give you a number, I would have to say either between 3 and 4 that I have close friendships with. And um, for sure, it makes life a little bit easier when you have someone that close to you and when you have someone that's able to listen to what you have to say and not judge anything that you're saying. Because either they've been through it or they just want to help you through it. And I can appreciate that. So, getting back to the friends that were cousins that were friends that would come up throughout the summers and things. So, of course, we all grew up and, of course, we all had our own lives to lead and everything, life start life and everything. And we would try to make time and effort to spend with each other because it was definitely a challenge at times because we all have lives and we all have children and we all have issues and stuff like that. So we finally were able to come up with something as far as, visitation. This last time, because this is the only time I'm going to mention. other than the times we had when we were younger. And that was just amazing. So as we're getting older and as we progress in our careers and we, do what we just life. And we were setting up and getting ready to go. Well, I was anyway, to head to my cousin's house in order for us to attend an event together. Because that's what we try to do. You usually try to get events, and then that way we can go together, or whatever. So this particular time, I came, but my cousin that usually comes with me, she didn't come this time. So it was just really just me and the other two. And once we got together, and when I was picked up from the airport, I could feel the vibes then. Something was different, something was off. And there was nothing I could do to change that. I tried my very best to, be bubbly and just kind of like be out of the way because I just felt like something was just off. So, but like I said, I just, because I can get along with anybody. So we're doing what we're doing, going to the different activities and stuff. And it still felt, oh gosh, pushed. It still felt like it was forced. It didn't feel natural. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to enjoy myself. So I'm enjoying some libations and, good food and everything, just chilling. Because I felt like, I'm not going to let anything, mess up my trip. So that's just how I felt about it. So as time goes on and we end the visitation and we're all taken back to the airport and going home. And I wanted to say, when people ask me how it was, I want to say it was great. It was this and the other, but there were some hiccups. There were some things that were said, and it wasn't like it was mean or anything like that. It just was what it was. So after I get back, and I really hadn't even settled in that well, but then I got a call, and it was from my cousin that whom we visited, and I missed her call. So then I called her back, and she missed my call, but I told her to call me back. So when she finally calls me back, we finally connect, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, maybe she's going to tell me that I left some stuff there on accident, or that, you know, this is our next thing we're going to do, so this is what's up with that. No, she comes and says to me, it was brought to my attention that you told my husband that he was flexible. And I was like, and then she said, I wouldn't say that to your husband. And I'm not gonna lie, I was in a state of shock. Like I was appalled. I was like, what? And then she went on to say, oh, and then of course I apologized because I'm like, I don't know what I did or what I said or whatever she's talking about, but I didn't mean it in no sexual advancement way or no derogatory way or no anything. I just can't remember saying it. But apparently the cousin that was in there fixing the food and the libations, she was the one that was in there carrying the bone. And so I had to go back in my memory bank and figure out what it is she's talking about. So I remember a time in the kitchen. Okay. We were in the kitchen. It was myself, her husband, and the other cousin that was there. And she was cooking. And so when her husband walked in, apparently he weighed something on the floor, but however, something was on the floor. And for me, being a person whose back is not in the best shape in the world, I would either have to get a pole or mop or something to clean it up with. Though instead, he took a paper towel and threw it on the floor and bent all the way over, all the way down to the paper towel to try to wipe it up. And I had never seen anything like that. So I said, dog, you flexible, because he's down there. And I'm thinking, I know I could have did it like that. But that was just as simple and as innocent as it was. And that cousin that was cooking chose to tell her because they're closer. They live, they live together and they're really, really tight. So of course, they should know each other's temperament. So in other words, it was like she was saying that to start some mess between us. So I'm just like, this is crazy. And then the cousin on the phone also goes on to say, if my son, no, and don't hug my son unless he hugs you first. And I said, okay. And so I hung up the phone, burst in tears, told everybody about it. And they were upset too, because it was just like, what? And it took a minute for me to get past that because I was really, really hurt because I know how much weight I put on friendship and trust is at the top of the list. I would never talk to anybody or anybody's husband out of the way, period. I don't do that. That's not me. I had no idea she was that insecure or she was self-esteem was that low to feel as though she had to mention that to me because I know it wasn't her husband because if he had said something, he would have been like, she said it, but she didn't mean nothing by it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, after I got off the phone with her, after I'm just bawling in tears, I called the other cousin that said that to her. And I told her, I said, why would you say that? I said, why? And all those things that you said about her, and I never said a word about it. Well, with me and her tight, we this, we that. I said, well, you just ruined the friendship. Just ruined it forever. She said, from that? And I told her it was just kidding. And I was just so-and-so. And I don't appreciate being called this early in the morning, so-and-so. So I'm like, well, I got called early this morning and got told this. But when I tell y'all, that hurt my feelings so bad. So bad. And it taught me a lesson that everybody doesn't view friendship the same. And it taught me that people who have insecurities in their life from things that may have hurt from the past, um, I guess what you call it, hit dog hollers, basically. So I just feel like maybe something like this similar must have happened to her in the past. And she felt like what I was saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And she professes to know the Lord like she does. And I'm just like, I knew it. I felt it the whole time that I was there. And I was just like, I was in disbelief. But that happened a while ago. And of course, she and I haven't talked since then. And I don't foresee it being in the near future. I'm not saying ever, because that's a really big word, but just in the near future, I don't see it. Because if it doesn't do any of these 7 things for me in my life in 2024, making me physically healthier, make you happy, live longer, not get sick, linked to financial success, improves your mental health, or makes me feel safe, I'm not going to be around it. I am team keep the peace. I want to live in peace. I want to be in peace. And that does not include anybody that doesn't know themselves, unsure of themselves, and with low self-esteem. I've been there. I've done that. And I just don't like to be around it. If it takes too much energy to be around someone who hadn't or don't know themselves yet. Because I'm going to tell you what, if somebody says anything to my husband, if I had one, or whenever he comes, in Jesus' name, says anything to him and he feels away, he's going to say something then, number one, and he may or may not mention it to me. And I'm okay with that, because if you feel that you're being disrespected, or if he felt that way, the thing to do is to talk about it and nip it in the bud then, because now it's done festered and you really hadn't even got my side of the story or what I say happened. You're going to accuse me because this was brought to your attention. And instead of being like, well, it is what it is, I'm just moving along, whatever. So she's done told me the 2 most important men in her life, basically to stay away. So guess what I'm going to do? Yes. So then I have the cousin that I told you I met later in life, and she it's two of them, and I consider them both to be really really good friends. But the one that's sickly, that she's my cousin. Now the friend that I have is just the friend, and I can tell her anything as well. But this one, particular one, is my cousin, and right now she's fighting for her life. And I'm going to try to say this without, getting teared up. But she has really been a really good friend to me since the day I met her. She forgives like nobody that I've never ever known. She is an awesome person. She never judges. She's always got have a kind word, and she's helped me so much because my natural instinct is to have a grudge and hold it for a while. But I'm trying to get out of that, and she's definitely been helping with that. And she said it kind of runs in our family a little bit, and I can see that. And so I have to try hard not to do that or be that. And so she has been a very instrumental person in my life with that. Even the other cousin that I told you, um, that's a friend and a cousin. She's the same way. She forgives easily and slow to anger. And those are the things that I have the most issues with. And I just thank God for all my friends, even the ones that falsely accuse, or if they don't know the story, I forgive them. I do that for me, not for them. Even the ones that you'll never hear I'm sorry from. I'm okay with that because I know that the apology is not for them, it's for me. And I challenge you to be able to look inside yourself and take self inventory. Um, because there's one little saying that I heard: whatever you want, then you be that. So that's one of those pieces of nuggets. And I'm like, I like that. So I'm going to share that. If you want a good friend, be a good friend. If you, um, if you want whatever it is you want, you be that and show yourself to be that. And I think that was very good advice. And I'm glad to share it with you guys. This is my time. And I hope that something that I said can encourage you and take inventory on your friends, because if they're not doing any of these 7 things in your life, you may want to rethink being their friend, um, because it's not supposed to be difficult. It's not. And I'm not talking about just friendships, any kind of relationship that you're in. If it's not bettering you, if it's not abusing you, if it's no, if it is abusing you, and if it is causing you turmoil in your life and in your head and in your mind and in your heart, that is not of God. So you need to separate from that. And if it means that I have, well, I mean, I said it 4, if that means I have one less, I just have to deal with it, because I'm on a peace crusade and all I want is peace. All I want is to be able to live my life. Not necessarily saying that, there's not going to be some bad times, because God never said that. So I don't know why we think that bad times are not going to come, sad times. But you guys, thank you for watching. So hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you. I was recently sick, and I went to the doctor, and they told me I had a upper respiratory. However, my blood pressure was higher than normal. And of course, I'm not on any kind of blood pressure medication. So they told me to keep a check. So I bought this um, blood pressure monitor from Amazon, and it's allowed me to check my blood pressure as often as I need to. I even have a little booklet that I write down what the pressure is and what time of day. It really came in handy, and I'm sure it could be of usefulness to someone else. The link is in the bio. Thank you.